Hello, all you beautiful human beings out there in the world. This is Jeremy Scott here with the Liberty Bugle Town Hall. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you guys really quick. A lot of things going on. We're about 20 days out from the midterm elections. Big things happening, and I wanted to do a deep dive on something that I didn't personally have a lot of understanding about, and I've done quite a bit of research now, and that's the Strategic Petroleum Reserves, or the SPR as it's known. And what I've been understanding is that President Biden has been utilizing this SPR to drive down gas prices overall to help the Democrats, hopefully, for them, towards the midterms. Well, the damage is done, Joe. You know this. Energy prices are through the roof. Things are very difficult. Gas prices now, everyday Americans, even you Democrats, understand that you can't run cover for this guy for much longer. And he's been utilizing everything that he can to hopefully, prop up his poll numbers or to help ease some of the pain financially, to cover up some of the fact that I'm going to say this. The environmentalists, okay? The environmentalists, the green energy globalists. This is not just the Sierra Club and, the local U.S. interests. Globally, they have Joe by his old shriveled up gray balls, okay? They have Biden by the balls. They do. The special interests that helped get him elected now own that bumbling idiot. And he's going to do his level best to drive our economy into the toilet. Even Obama, during his term, talked about how energy prices would necessarily have to be drastically increased to teach us, the simple folk, to stop relying on so much, fossil fuels and to move us towards a green economy. F off, Joe. Seriously, and Barry, and whatever you wrote in on. We're tired of it. We're sick of your shit. It's just plain and simple. It's costing people over $100, period, to fill up their gas tank when it cost half that just a couple of years ago. We may have short-term memory issues and a short attention span, but it's not that short. We remember, for those of us who actually pay for things, we remember these costs. Now, let's talk about the SPR. What is the SPR? That's called a Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That means it's safe for serious catastrophic events like, hurricanes. Nothing like that's happened lately. Oh, wait, it has in Florida. And, of course, across the eastern seaboard. There are emergencies that require us to have our strategic petroleum reserves, our oil reserves, here that we created here domestically within the U.S. Now, President Trump talked about how we were energy independent. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research and find out exactly how independent we were, but much more than we are now. And this is one of the telling matters. Now, when you talk about the reserves, number one, I'm going to say this. I don't care what your political affiliation is. National security is a massive concern across the board for everyone. You live in the country. I don't care if you lefties hate it. You still live here, you stupid bitches. You live here. I don't care how much you want to rage about inequality over your iPads and your MacBooks, sipping your lattes for $12 at Starbucks. You live here. This is the situation. National security is important, and when you rely on outside countries to fulfill your strategic oil reserves, you've got issues. And you want to talk about issues? Here's the situation. When Trump came into office, we've done the research, guys. When Trump came into office, and you can look at this, factcheck.org, just on their website this morning, taking a look, Trump was talking about how the oil reserves were near empty and had been for decades. That's not true. Sorry, Donald, it's not true. The truth is we were at 695 million barrels, okay? And that's a lot. The capacity is at 727 or 740 million. The truth is, yes, we were very low. And during the beginnings of the pandemic, when they passed the COVID-19 stimulus package and the funds that were going for COVID relief, Trump thought it would be a good idea, believed it would be a good idea, since oil was at roughly $22 or $24 a barrel, we should go ahead and top it off. We should go ahead and do it and get it back up to its maximum level because we were dealing with international issues. We were dealing with the Saudis, dealing with Iran, dealing with stuff all over the world, dealing with China. We're having a tough moment globally and domestically, and Trump saw the opportunity to get oil cheap, to top off our reserves. And what did the Democrats do? They said, no, that's just a bailout for the oil companies. I can't tell you how more vapidly stupid these people really are. I can't even get into it right now. The truth of the matter is, now, oil, right today, we're looking at $88 a barrel, roughly. I think this morning, I'll go ahead and check for you guys right at this second. Let's go ahead and check oil prices right now. Let's look. We're going to use our source because I'm going to quote our source here. Today, it's Market Watch. And $84.47 right now as it sits at 9:50 a.m. Arizona time. So when we could have gotten it for $22 to $24 a barrel, now we're going to pay 4x that to do it. But we're not topping it off. In fact, Joe has been releasing it. He's been selling it off to bring down the cost of oil domestically, or to bring down the cost of gasoline, shall I say. And I know, and I just hate talking about numbers because I feel like it loses you guys, because all of a sudden you have to do math. But hang with me, okay, please. Over 700 million barrels should be our reserve. Because of this administration's moves to utilize what should be our national security interest of our Strategic Petroleum Reserve, they've dwindled it down to 400 million barrels. And now is poised once again, and it's no mistake. Timing is not a mistake. He's looking at releasing another 15 million barrels. Why? Well, number one, the first week in office, he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, shut down land leases for drilling for oil and natural gas, did everything his environmentalist masters asked him to do. Shut down as much production as possible here domestically in the U.S. I don't care, Ronald McDonald, Jean Pierre, how you want to spin this, but he's done something catastrophic. And if we don't increase our own production here domestically, we're looking at a world of hurt moving forward. And he just keeps hedging, pulling down what is our savings. Our oil piggy bank keeps getting spent. Let me bring this real simple terms. You, as a consumer, you as an individual, have stopped working. Or you've cut down, instead of 40, 50 hours a week, you're going to work 5 hours a week. And what you've done is you've decided, I'm going to dig into my savings and then declare that I got a raise. That the cost of everything is now a little bit better because I've now dug into my savings. That's asinine. And the government never runs like you and I have to, with a real budget and understanding the real costs of things. Joe couldn't even tell his billions from his trillions, from his millions, from our previous quote. And we'll play it right here. Once again, Joe, what was that Energy Act, what the Inflation Reduction Act, what was that going to do again? Go ahead for me.
We passed look, what I ran on, I said we're going to deal with energy.
Right.
And the energy problem, we're going to deal with the whole notion of global warming. We passed $368 billion worth of help, which, as the same bankers talk about, is going to bring $1.7 billion off the sidelines in investment.
Right. You feckless tool. Guys, billions, trillions, they don't even care. It doesn't belong to them. They didn't work to earn it, so they don't care how it gets spent. Period. I don't know what you have to call yourself to realize how bad that is. You want to call yourself a Democrat, a Republican, a liberal. You want to call yourself a, three-legged purple giraffe who identifies as something. I don't care. That's bad news. No matter who you are, no matter what you think you are, it's bad. Do a little research, guys, and I was hoping that, honestly, what I would find was just a lot of hyperbole from the conservative talking heads, but it's not. And in fact, it's worse than people are actually admitting. And if we continue our current course, if he depletes our U.S. natural reserves, guys, we're inviting a whole host of issues. Now, here's what I found entertaining. Number one, OPEC, our oil-producing region, the Saudis, the Middle East, they couldn't give two shits about American politics. You know how I know this? This administration got caught in a pretty massive lie. Joe asked them to increase oil production for us. And they said, go screw yourself. You know, I'm sure it sounded different. Maybe it's a slightly different accent. But they said, go screw yourself. We're going to cut production because we have a really high level and oil prices are not where we need it to be competitive or to be profitable. So he said, whoa, wait a second. So you're not going to increase for us. You know, we did cut ours here at home, so we would appreciate it. And they said, yeah, your poor decision-making has nothing to do with us. You know, your poor planning does not dictate an emergency on our part, okay? But for some reason, this administration thinks that if they pulled the strings, that somehow the world will just bow to them. Not happening. OPEC said, not only are we not increasing, we're cutting back. And Joe said, whoa, wait. You have to at least wait until after the midterms. Say it again. You have to wait until after the midterms. Why would they do that? Because the Democrats are losing. You're losing. They don't have a leg to stand on. All they have is hating Republicans, okay? Their green agenda, it costs trillions more than anybody would have ever imagined that they sold it, but I'll get back to that. I believe that they know exactly what it's going to cost and the amount of pain it's going to bring everybody. But they wanted to hold off the pain for a little while longer so that some of you would be fooled into still voting for Democrats and their failed policies. Okay? When they said hold off, the Saudis once again said, go screw yourself, Joe. We're not going to do it. And in fact, when our media asked and reached out to them, they told us. They told not us, Liberty Bugle, but they told us and told our people here in the U.S. that, yeah, they did ask for that favor. They did ask to be held off until after the midterms because it would be more politically expedient if things weren't so bad economically. But don't let them fool you. I swear to you, just because they would lower oil prices right now, they're going to slam you after the midterms, no matter if you vote for them or if you don't. Whatever ounces of power that they have, whatever Joe has at his fingertips, he's going to use to screw you into the earth. And that's it. Because why? I said it before, the environmentalists globally have Joe by his old balls. And that's it. Don't be fooled. Strategic oil reserves are meant as a measure of our own national security. Okay? That's why it was instituted back in 74, 75, because it was during the Iran oil embargo. What do? We removed power from Iran by not buying from them, by increasing our national production domestically here, by holding our own reserves here. Okay? And it was not about just giving money to the oil companies. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with making sure that another nation didn't have their foot on our neck, that we didn't have a level of exposure to the enemy. At this point, I don't even know what to tell you. The enemy is here. The enemy is among you. The enemy is sitting in the White House and destroying our economy, destroying your bottom line. Guys, I don't have to tell you this. You can just look at the research. Look at the truth. Look at the numbers. The rate of inflation is massive at this point. We had near zero inflation under Trump, okay? Now, it's insane. The cost of everything that you're paying for, and at the last figure, all of us have lost 1 month's salary. When a lot of people were living paycheck to paycheck to begin with, and now you're losing 1 month's salary, you can't tell me that that doesn't hurt. That hurts everybody. I don't care how well-heeled you are. I don't care what kind of reserves you have sitting there. We've lost probably a good 20, 25% of our retirement savings nest egg, and I'm not alone, okay? You guys are feeling it too. And you can't deny it. I don't care if you typically vote blue down the ticket, okay? Anything with a D next to it is getting your vote. You have to vote your economy, personal economy. You have to vote your own financial well-being. Now, that doesn't mean that just because Republicans get in power, it's just all going to get better. Look, in 2010, we handed Republicans a massive win in both the House and the Senate and turned Obama into a very dangerous lame duck president. But they did shit with it. They did nothing. They sat there, all these old rhinos sat there and did zero. And let me tell you, I make a personal, solemn promise to you. The Republicans get control of the House, the Senate, and eventually the presidency. We're going to be there holding their feet to the fire. We're going to be there questioning, making sure that they are fulfilling the agenda that they promised to the American people. Me and you, that they're going to fulfill their promises. And if they don't, we'll get rid of them. And guess what? We get a Democrat with actual fiscal sanity that comes around and is remotely trustworthy and has a decent track record. That doesn't mean I won't vote for him. I might just. It comes down to what's common sense. And right now, when you have your national security being sacrificed, your economy is being driven into the toilet for a green agenda that we are nowhere near ready for. We don't have the infrastructure, the planning. We have none of this ready. Gavin Newsom, one of the biggest tool D-bags in the world, thinks that people should just have electric cars. But wait, you can't charge them during certain hours because we lack the electrical grid to power everything. But guess what, Gavi? Where does the power come from for your grid? Well, nuclear and coal. Where else do you think it comes from? Unicorn fairy dust? Doesn't happen. Understand that what they're saying to you is the tip of the iceberg in this nefarious plan of theirs, okay? I'm not going to go into conspiracy theory and all this, but the fact of the matter is there's always more layers to this onion than you're ever being told. At least agree with me on that. So, I'm done ranting for the moment, but guys, look out, okay? The more that they release our strategic oil reserves, the more that it is sold off, by the way, to China as well. I'll get into that. I'm going to post a link down below in the description. And the more that they release that, the less national security we have when we're beholden to other nations for our own energy. We're moving into the colder months. People who pay for heating oil and for natural gas, these costs are going to go up. And they're talking about anywhere from 20, 25% or more. Just this winter alone. We lack the infrastructure to do what they want to do, which means the only ones going to sacrifice are me and you to make their utopian green agenda world become a reality. I can't. I'm done. But follow the links in the description. We'll post them all there. For now, please, my ask with you guys, we're coming up so close to the midterm elections. We're going to be following all the coverage. We'll be doing a live stream that night of the election coverage and discussing what's going on in each particular area, what happened that was a win, what was disappointing. We're going to go through all of that, and hopefully you guys will be with us for that live stream. Between now and then, please click the subscribe button somewhere around here and the notification bell. Stick with us, guys. Please tell your friends and family about us, even if you bring them just to hate on us. I don't care. Bring the audience. Let's talk. Let's get you guys educated. I love that you're here. We're growing exponentially. I know I keep saying it, but take a look. Watch the numbers. It really is happening. Jeremy Scott, Liberty Bugle Town Hall. Over and out for now, and we'll see y'all soon. Love y'all. Bye-bye.